They tried to silence him. They erased his name. But he rebuilt from nothing. He fought every algorithm. They tried again and failed. Now he's back, stronger. From blackout to spotlight, he's at the White House, at the top of his game. Franchi lives.
You are about to enter another dimension, the dimension of truth, unfiltered and uncensored. Welcome to the Raw Feed with Gary Franchi.
Welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, coming to you live from the heart of America. Unfiltered truth to millions on YouTube. Hit those donation links below. Every contribution powers our gear. Every contribution keeps the party going. Help me help you. Hit those donation links. YouTube channel memberships. Special acknowledgement in the fellowship. Your super chats keep me standing. Your Rumble rants fuel every round.
Say hello to super chats.
Spread the intel. Every repost extends our reach.
Super chats fuel this spectacle. Your Rumble rants give me strength.
24/7 members-only community, behind-the-scenes discussions.
Connect with fellow patriots.
My mama always said, life is like sharing the truth. Text this stream to your friends. What if I told you the app is real? Download the Next News Network app. Android users, take the Google Play path. iPhone users, App Store awaits.
What's up, everybody? Just sitting here updating a Facebook description on the post we just made, letting everybody know we are live right now on the Next News Network. About to pin that post so every one of my Facebook followers can see it first thing when they hit my feed. Have you ever been on my Facebook profile? I don't know. Drop a line. Yeah, so today, what is going on, man? Yesterday was wild. I apologize. There was no show yesterday, but we're here now. We're here now, and welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and the reckoning has finally arrived. Now, before we dive in, I do want to give a very special birthday shout out to our good friend Tom McCullough. Every single time Tom steps behind this desk or at the White House, he brings the heat for our amazing audience. Happy birthday, Tom. We love you. We appreciate everything you do, and we are grateful to have you a part of the Next News family. Enjoy your day, brother. Now, let's go to another day in history. 27 years ago today, December 11th, 1988, the House Judiciary Committee approved articles of impeachment against Bill Clinton for perjury and obstruction of justice. The establishment told us accountability was coming. They told us powerful people would finally face real consequences for their lies and their corruption. But we all know what happened. Clinton walked free, the machine protected its own, and for decades, that became the template. The powerful lie, the powerful cheat, the powerful abuse their offices. And somehow they always managed to escape. Until now. Because today that template is being shredded in real time. The hunters are becoming the hunted finally. The fraud networks are collapsing, and the politicians who thought they were untouchable are watching federal investigators close in from every single direction. See, we've been tracking the Somali fraud machine in Minnesota for weeks. And tonight, the investigation just went nuclear. The Department of Homeland Security has confirmed they are actively investigating Representative Ilhan Omar for immigration fraud. The allegation that she married her own brother to get him into this country is now the subject, finally, of a federal probe. Tom Homan is leading that charge. President Trump said, well, we got to get her the hell out. Elon Musk called her a traitor to America. And ICE is conducting armed raids on Somali-owned restaurants and properties across the state. And federal investigators want to know how her net worth exploded from $65,000 to $30 million in just 4 years. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has been directed to investigate the financial trail. The fraud matrix is finally being exposed. And then there's the deep state boomerang. And, my friends, it is spinning fast. Ed Martin and the DOJ Weaponization Working Group have opened investigations into Senator Adam Schiff and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Federal whistleblower Colonel Timothy Schindler went on camera with Laura Logan today and warned that if power shifts, the people who weaponize justice become the targets themselves. The architects of Lawfare are now staring down the barrel of the very machine that they built. We've also been covering the Obamacare disaster, and the new evidence is devastating. The Government Accountability Office created fake identities to test the system. 90% were approved for taxpayer-funded health care. Speaker Mike Johnson revealed that $94 million sent to dead people. Tens of thousands of duplicate Social Security numbers flooding the rolls. This is not incompetence. This is industrial-scale criminal fraud that's baked right into the system by design. Governor J.B. Pritzker just poured gasoline on Illinois by signing the most radical illegal immigrant protection bill in state history. He's creating no-go zones for ICE. Tom Homan laughed directly in his face and said, good luck with that. Federal funding threats are now rapidly mounting. And President Trump has now openly declared war on CNN, as if he didn't hate them enough. He said the network should be sold because leadership is corrupt or incompetent. Stephen Miller, he offered to appear on any show they wanted, and CNN declined because they knew he would embarrass them on live television. So 27 years after Clinton escaped accountability, the walls are finally closing in on the protected class. The fraud is being exposed. The investigations are active. And the American people are watching it all unfold in real time. This is the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi. Let's get into it and welcome you to the show. Who's here today? Looney Rooney, Sue Ferguson, Dr. Insomnia, Michael Jones, Blue Eyes 4037, Pothead Kenny, Dave Wallenberg, Bless Mess, Rusty Shackelford, War Priestess, Rumblebot, James Fay, Richard Maddox. Everyone is filing in, and if you haven't shared the stream yet, please do so. Hit that like button if you're enjoying the content we provide here. Millennium Man, December 11th, 1998, just finished a nasty quarter in college and had food poisoning. Ooh. Briar Stick is here. Michelle Fiacco, Damon Gore. Everybody is filing in. Now, we got news to get to, and if you have super chats, drop them. Help us hit our goal tonight. $100 a check there. James Fay already coming in hot with $2 from Cincinnati. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. We'll be monitoring your super chats throughout the show. Do you guys see the memes that the White House has been putting out? Yeah, check out my Facebook page. And I reposted some of them. Dude, they're on fire. They are on fire, man. Like this one, it's like the Polar Express. I can't show it to you because it's on this computer. I mean, I could, but it's a process. But it's like the Polar Express. Here illegally, the Deportation Express. Oh, it's great. This holiday season, believe you can go home. Now that is worthy of a Sora movie trailer. Oh, dude, I'm totally gonna. That's what I'm gonna do. Bookmark that. Brian, send me a message, would you please? Send me a reminder. I need to make that into a Sora movie trailer. That should be fun. Oh yeah. Okay, but folks, we got news to get to. Enough fun. What about Omar? What about her? Folks, we've been covering this story for weeks, but tonight it just exploded into something much bigger. The Department of Homeland Security has now officially confirmed they're actively investigating Representative Ilhan Omar for immigration fraud. The allegation? That she married her own brother to game the system and get him into the country. Tom Homan, Trump's border czar, he's leading that charge, and the investigation doesn't stop at immigration. Federal agents want to know how a congresswoman's net worth exploded from $65,000 to just $30 million in 4 years. The fraud matrix we've been exposing is now a federal case. Now let's talk about what's at stake here, because this is not really just about one congresswoman. This is about a political machine that's built on fraud and funded by American taxpayers. President Trump didn't mince words. He said that she married her brother to get in, and we ought to get her the hell out. Elon Musk called her a traitor to America. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he's been directed to investigate the Minnesota Somali fraud networks that have been bleeding this country dry. We're talking about a restaurant owner convicted of stealing $12 million. 47% of Minnesota Somalis on welfare. Dr. Oz revealed that Governor Tim Walz knew about this fraud and did nothing while autism spending in the state exploded from $3 million to $400 million. ICE is now conducting armed raids on Somali-owned restaurants and properties across the state. And in Lewiston, Maine, a Somali city councilor was just indicted for gun theft. You see, this is a network, and it's finally being dismantled. And some breaking news for your financial future. While federal investigators expose fraud networks bleeding American taxpayers dry, smart Americans are taking action to protect what they've earned. So as we wrap up 2025, it's a good time to reflect on the year. Uncertainty is not temporary. It's the world we live in now. Waiting for normal is not a plan, it's a gamble. And for over a decade, Noble Gold Investments has helped Americans protect themselves by diversifying with gold and silver. Nobody knows what 2026 will bring, but real wealth is not digital. It's physical, it's lasting, and it's yours. So when you're sitting around the table this holiday season, remember the best gift is not under the tree. It's peace of mind. And that's what Noble Gold delivers, 1 ounce at a time. Visit nextnewsgold.com for your free wealth protection kit, and don't leave your future to chance. Or you can call them, 877-646-5347, and ask them how you can get those 10-ounce silver holiday coins. And if you're if you're capable of getting them. Now, let's get into it because here's where it gets even more damaging. Remember when Omar smugly declared at a Minneapolis rally, quote, "We're here now and you're stuck with us." Well, it turns out paperwork can be revoked. Tom Homan made that crystal clear. The federal investigation is now looking at the 2009 marriage to Ahmed Nur Said Elmi, who investigators believe is her biological brother. And that's called immigration fraud. It's called marriage fraud. It's called financial fraud. And a political career built on top of all of it. The same woman who called for defunding the police and dismantling ICE is now watching ICE agents raid properties connected to her community. The hunters have officially become the hunted. And this is it. Here it is. Time to investigate. People's donations are not to go to their family piggy banks. Representative Ilhan Omar's campaign cash scandal is erupting. She has new allegations of campaign finance abuse, funneling nearly $3 million in small dollar donations from her 2020 race to her husband's firm, E Street Group, co-owned by Tim Manette, amid kickback claims. Critics slam it as self-enrichment. Omar's 3 terms allegedly boosted Manette's credibility, leading to $1 million+ misappropriated from South Dakota investors, unpaid workers, and frozen funds by Treasury OFAC for sanctions and violations. No charges filed, but FEC complaints dismissed as political ploys, yet the optics scream corruption.
Minnesota's 5th Congressional District. And we called together this press conference in the wake of yesterday's article in the Minnesota Reformer about my opponent, Representative Omar. She paid her husband, Tim Manette, $3 million of campaign money. And the way her time in office has given his business access and credibility as they've misappropriated more than $1 million in money from South Dakota investors. They left workers unpaid and found the funds frozen by the Office of Foreign Assets Control, the U.S. Treasury Department in charge of enforcing sanctions. Unfortunately, this story is just the latest scandal in a string of new stories about Representative Omar that narrow the focus on her and bring us further from the type of progress our district and our country needs around issues that affect the lives of our neighbors. Representative Omar has used her 3 terms in Congress, what many would consider the opportunity and honor of a lifetime, to divide our community and enrich herself in the process. Minnesota Reformer reporter Max Nestorak's article mentions at least 3 of the businesses that Tim Manette and his partner Will Haler started. The first was their political consultancy, which received an unprecedented sum of money from Representative Omar's 2020 race, where she raked in millions of small dollar contributions from across the country during the election cycle. $3 million was spent with E Street, and a large portion of that money went directly back into her own household. After that, Tim Manette and his business partner, Will Haler, started a winery, a decision made when one of their marketing clients apparently offered them grapes in lieu of money. The winery left its workers unpaid and is currently being sued for breach of contract, a bizarre arrangement where they agreed to return an investment of $300,000 with a return of $900,000 just 18 months later.
Poor Ilhan. It is going down for her. Are my buttons working? I don't know if they're working or not. And now we have this. The border commander Bovino tells Nick Sortor he would personally arrest Ilhan Omar following the outcome of Tom Homan's investigation. He says, please make it happen. Check this out.
Nick, if she's here.
All right, Chief Bovino, we heard from Tom Homan, who said that DHS is now launching an investigation into Ilhan Omar and whether or not she's in the country illegally. Can we count on you to make the arrest if we find out that Ilhan Omar is, in fact, illegally in the United States?
Nick, if she's here illegally, I'll definitely be putting some cuffs on her. I would absolutely love the honor of doing that.
Awesome. I just want to be there for it. That's all I ask. So.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
I
it,
think
sir.
we all want to be there for that. Here we have Trump's border czar confirming that the Department of Homeland Security is actively investigating Representative Ilhan Omar for potential immigration fraud related to longstanding allegations she married her brother, Ahmed Nur Said Elmi, in 2009 to help him gain his U.S. residency. What is your reaction to that? Looks like good news. But remember when President Trump said this?
That's for Minnesota. Do we have any individuals from Somalia in the group? Please raise your hand. That's for Minnesota, you know. That's called the Great Big Minnesota Scam with one of the dumbest governors ever in history. I love this Ilhan Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little turban. I love her. She comes in, there's nothing but bitch. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, I mean, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military, they have no nothing, they have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing. They have no police. They police themselves. They kill each other all the time. I love it. She comes to our country, and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain. Do we have any
Okay, so we've got President Trump. We've got Tom Homan. We've got the border chief, all circling around Ilhan Omar right now. And it's beautiful to watch. She has got to be freaking out. Here, Elon Musk calls out the fact that Ilhan Omar and communist Zoran Mandami were elected by people who aren't from America and don't respect it.
Well, let's look at, Ilhan Omar, who was voted into Congress by, a large group of people from Somalia who are in Minnesota, which is really far from Somalia, or Mamdani, who was voted to be mayor, but by a majority of people who are not born in America. That's my understanding, at least. And then California is a big time situation. So I don't know. We just don't want to turn into a communist hellhole, basically. Well, let's look at.
But that's, of course, where they will all take us. And I failed to mention her opponent here, laying out more corruption for Ilhan Omar. Farm Girl Carrie posting this video. I was thinking about Somali's responses to being caught The arrogance, Ilhan Omar says, what are you going to do about it? We're here now. You're stuck with us. I guess they don't know that we could take back all that paperwork.
With us. You know, I was thinking about the Somalis' responses to being caught, right? To being caught. The arrogance. Ilhan Omar, what does she say? You know, basically, what are you going to do about it? We're here now. You're stuck with us. We're an American. You know what? I guess they don't know that we can actually take back all that paperwork and put them out. And we really, really need to put them out because this is a hostile population, a hostile population within our borders. And not just the Somalis, because look at Dearborn, Michigan. Look at these populations of people that are spread out in different areas around our country that absolutely despise us. Look at the Afghanistan people, right? So what are we doing? Because we're playing games if we're not actually serious about putting these people out. Or are we going to turn into the next England, France, Italy, Germany?
Oh, hell no. No. We will not allow this country to be overrun like those nations have. We're smarter than that. We're waking up to it. Representative Ilhan Omar constantly sides with Hamas, which has a mission to wipe out Israel. Trumper Joy writes, we are calling on Congress to censure her. Add your name to the petition today. The American Center for Law and Justice.org behind that. Ilhan Omar suffers a seizure after she accidentally admitted to stealing $250 million. Did she really have a seizure? I don't think she had a seizure, but maybe this is just rhetoric. Let's find out.
Medicaid housing.
No, a lot of the people who were involved in this, we just put this together here. She introduced legislation that led to the $250 million being defrauded.
And that's just education. Let's take a look at the welfare state. What do illegal immigrants? What do all of these millions and tens of millions of people do to our welfare system? Well, we know the answer. We've showed you this. We showed you this starting in October. How about welfare? Whether or not it's any welfare, cash, food, Medicaid, housing. There you go. All different forms of Medicare, welfare. Orange represents households headed by an illegal immigrant. Look at this. 59, 18, 48. 39% of households headed by illegal immigrants taking those welfare programs. And I mentioned the numbers. It's staggering. Foreign-born population in the United States right now is the highest since 1890.
Then they say that whistleblowers now confirm Ilhan Omar's campaign funneled a massive amount of money to her husband's firm, while Somali-linked networks in Minneapolis ran one of the biggest COVID relief fraud schemes in history. Hundreds of millions stolen.
Well, now investigators are tracking the web of fraud to other Minnesota Democrats, such as Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Many of the suspects linked to the scheme live in her district, including a restaurant owner who hosted events for her. He has since been convicted of stealing $12 million in COVID funds.
Wow. That's the same place she was acting like, she was fixing food and stuff at. She was part of the scheme as well. Like I said before, that's the reason why her net worth is up more than $30 million right now. And then not only that, when she went on Face the Nation on CBS, she also, attacked Stephen Miller, pretty much calling him a Nazi. This is what I've been talking about. This is what the Democrats been doing. They call President Trump a fascist. They call him Hitler. They call him Mussolini. They call him, say somebody he's a Nazi. They do this all the time. So it say Ilhan Omar ended her anti-American interview on CBS by falsely saying Stephen Miller is a Nazi and that Somalis are like Jewish, Irish, and Italian immigrants who came to America and helped build it. Everything that comes out of Ilhan's mouth is vile and is an insult to the American people. And that's her point. She has no respect for America and constantly lies to cover up for the crimes that she or some of her people have committed. Stephen Miller is right when he says that many Somalis aren't assimilating as foreigners. You either respect the culture and laws of the country you're visiting or you will be legally removed. It's time to legally remove Ilhan Omar from the United States of America.
I want to ask you about something else that the architect of the president's immigration policy, Stephen Miller, said. On Thanksgiving Day, he posted, "No magic transformation occurs when failed states cross borders. At scale, migrants and their descendants recreate the conditions and terrors of their broken homelands." What do you make of this argument of failure to assimilate and sort of ruining America? How do you understand this?
I mean, when I think about Stephen Miller and his white supremacist rhetoric, it reminds me of the way the Nazis described Jewish people in.
That's basically where you need to cut it. I remember we covered that the other day, and clearly that video is making the rounds. Elon Musk accuses Ilhan Omar of treason, calls her a traitor to America. Just the news. Let's dive a little bit deeper. Check this out. Elon Musk. Let's see. Is it in this clip here? Let's find out.
People using a Social Security around the country and saying
Americans will start feeling that in the first quarter of next year. What do you think the reaction
here? Okay, SpaceX and Tesla CEO Elon Musk said Wednesday, accusing Minnesota Democrat Representative Ilhan Omar of committing treason, called her a traitor to America over her previous promise to safeguard Somali interests in the United States. The treason allegation was in response to a clip of her addressing Somali constituents in Minnesota in January 24, in which she claimed the U.S. government will do what we ask it to do. While I'm in Congress, no one will take Somali's sea. The U.S. government won't support others to rob us. Don't stress over it, Minnesotans. The video resurfaced after Trump accused the Congresswoman on Tuesday during a speech in Pennsylvania of prioritizing Somalia over the U.S. Sounds like treason, Musk posts on X on Wednesday in response to the clip of the speech posted by Joe Rogan. Just the News has reached out to Omar's office, but no comment back, of course. So Elon Musk is calling her a traitor, a treasonous traitor. What do you call her? Haha. Tim Walz is a retard. Just Gen X writes. Franklin drives by Tim Walz's house. As if you know, Tim Walz is getting pretty triggered these days because President Trump referred to him as a retard. I don't think he's wrong. I think, well, maybe not retarded, because if he was retarded, he would not be able to understand that he's looking away from the corruption. You following me here? Minnesota food plant worker exposing violent, filthy, third world chaos after mass Somali hiring. They urinated and defecated everywhere. Had to put up signs explaining how to use the bathroom. They ignored them. Men washing their genitals in the sink. Brought in a roast infestation. Brought knives into the facility. There's no rule of law. How do you expect them to integrate in modern society? It's beyond me. It's a real problem, and it's a major reason why I left Minnesota. Let's hear it.
It's a real. Regular Americans are starting to wake up to what a complete and total sham and fraud our immigration system is, and it's something, man. Check this out.
I worked in a major food production facility that supplies the United States and Canada with food. I watched as they brought Somalians in, and they began to urinate and defecate wherever they pleased within this food production facility plant. We had to put up signs explaining how to use the bathroom correctly, but yet it was never corrected. I seen as grown men wash their genitals within the sinks, made homemade bidets from the garbage in the break rooms, and then brought in a roach infestation to the plant. Once again, I will tell you this is a major food production facility and cannot shut down for anything. I did, however, have it shut down once for a lockdown due to one of them returning to the food processing facility with a knife. It's a real problem, and it's a major reason why I left Minnesota. It's not their fault. They come from somewhere that has a private problem and is ran by tribes. There's no rule of law. How do you expect them to integrate within modern society is beyond me. I do, however, blame the state of Minnesota. I watched as they brought these people in with the sole purpose of driving down the wage. They want to make wage slaves. People ask themselves, how is it that someone could work this job? How else will we get people to work here? Unless we bring in immigrants. You're holding them hostage. You are bringing these people in and holding them hostage. They are nothing more than a modern slave. I've seen it myself. As these poor people come into this country and are treated so horribly in these jobs, or are forced to integrate into something that they don't understand, on the sole fact that they're trying to feed their family back home. It's a terrible thing, and it is truly sad to watch. As I said, I hold no ill will towards these people, and I understand why they did come to this country. I completely get it. I would also want to try to leave Somalia or Mexico or wherever else these people come from. It's wrong, and we all know it.
Regular Americans are starting to wake up to what...
Yeah, people are waking up big time to what's happening. Where did Ilhan Omar get all that money from? In 4 years, her net worth went from $65,000 to $30 million. That's right, $30 million. Trump has requested Scott Bessent investigate the Minnesota Somali fraud. Hopefully he will be able to find out. And we have this, a new Somali fraudster, imported Somali refugee and newly elected Lewiston, Maine city councilor, lied about where he's living, doesn't live in the ward he purports to represent, just got indicted on federal gun charges.
With one Ahmed Osman, who is a member of the school committee and was recently elected as a city councilor here in Lewiston, was indicted on Monday for theft charges, according to these court documents. Osman is charged with one count of receiving stolen property and one count of theft by unauthorized taking of a firearm. According to the documents, the incident with the stolen guns happened between November 2023 and October 2024, with very little other information provided. Lewiston's Mayor Carl Shaleen saying he's, quote, deeply concerned and he'll be following it closely. Osman was under scrutiny prior to the gun charges. That's because it's not clear where he lives. His legal address is 210 Blake Street in Lewiston, but that building was condemned after a drug raid. Nobody can live there, leading some to wonder, where is he living? The Lewiston School Board voted recently not to investigate Osman's residency, leading to fireworks at Monday's school board meeting.
Thank you for admitting that you don't give a shit what anyone here says. Shut up.
I've had enough of this. You know what's appropriate and you know what's not appropriate. So if you'd like to use the rest of your time, do so appropriately.
Some school board members agreed.
If someone is serving in an elected position without legally meeting the qualifications, including residency, that is not just ethically inappropriate. It potentially compromises the legitimacy of decisions made on behalf of our students, our schools, and our community.
Osman has not made it public where he is living currently, but his lawyer tells the Sun Journal he is looking forward to moving back to 210 Blake Street in Lewiston. Ahmed Osman, who is a member of the school committee and was recently elected as a city councilor here in Lewiston, was indicted on Monday for theft charges, according to these court documents.
You can't make this stuff up, man. Dr. Oz says Minnesota Governor Tim Walz knew about the fraud.
Is 2023, the last year we have numbers for, $400 million.
Good God.
Okay, and how much of that is going into the Somali community? Has that been institutionalized?
They've weaponized fraud and corruption. Talking with the CMS team that I'm blessed to work with, they say they've never seen anything like this as an abject dereliction of duty. And I think what happened, and just becoming clearer now, is that the Walz administration knew there was a problem. Whistleblowers were saying this money's being stolen. You gave a great number with autism. I can regale you with a bunch more. But nobody wanted to rock the boat because it turns out Somalians overwhelmingly vote for Democrats. They felt it would look bad for them to go after these people that they knew were guilty. And it was the Somalian community, in fact, that it finally came forward and said enough is enough. And we see people buying luxury cars, shipping money back to our home country, maybe even to terrorist organizations. And it was with that urging we finally found out what was happening. But here's the deal. President Trump's not going to tolerate this. Understandably, no American should want their tax dollars being siphoned off to Somalians living in Minnesota, who then ship it over to Africa or other places where it can be used for purposes that it was not designed. They're taking away the benefits that our most vulnerable desperately need when they steal from autistic children or from homeless people, people with substance use disorder. So we made a very clear line in the sand. By the end of this month, we need some type of a written plan from Governor Walz's team. Every week we want audits. We're demanding this. And by the end of January, if they have not cleaned up this disaster, this mess, then Governor Walz should start looking for loose change under his couch, because we are going to shut down funding of these programs, the 14 additional programs, besides the one for transportation that we already, or rather for housing, that we already shut down.
Well, 2 point...
Tim Walz is screwed. Oh, check this out. Here's some armed raids hitting Minnesota. The Somali heavy properties, the Somali deportation surge has officially begun. Do you support deporting all illegals and all Somalis?
You will be held accountable for your actions! You will be held accountable for your actions!
You are in Maple.
Damn. Let's go. Yeah.
SRT, let's move. Sir, go back. Do not attack the agent! I'm trying to help!
Oh my goodness, look at this, man. Watch my 6, bro. The Somalis are coming. Holy cow.
Leave! Do not
Damn. Let's friggin' go. Let the roundups continue. Let's friggin' go, man. The corruption is insane. Here's more. ICE agents have started raiding Somali restaurants in Minnesota. Democrats are not happy at all.
Especially when it says how to drive.
waxaa la isku haystaa maqaayadii ismaar sidar laga kala carama
حتى والله شرعيا الإلهي ما نسيه
أيوة أسيه
هذا شرعي مصيص وفعلي سوي منك
Yeah, I voted for that. Walz wants even more Somali migrants, though. The Minnesota governor travels to Seattle, Washington, telling all Democrat audience he's working to facilitate more arrivals from Somalia. That's from the AmericanExperiment.org. Democrats applaud as Tim Walz promises to welcome more migrants to Minnesota. Do we have that clip? Let's take a look. Let's go to Breitbart, see what's going on here. Let me see if the clip here. Oh, here it is. Okay. I think this is a YouTube short.
On Thanksgiving Eve, playing Yahtzee to take money from my nieces and nephews, you know, and we gamble a little bit on our Yahtzee in our house, and I get a drive-by slur from the president. What type of place have we gotten to when on Thanksgiving, the president of the United States is apparently sequestered in a room, ranting and calling random governors the R word? If that wouldn't be bad enough, then his failed sons add in and throw that stuff at my children. And then they pile on and start demonizing the entire community of our Somali community in Minnesota that we're incredibly proud of. So the response to that, and I keep saying this, when you see a man like Bob Ferguson, accomplished, compassionate, a dedicated father in his community, humble, effective, compassionate, effective, again, going back to that. But I mentioned earlier today, and I think now in this moment we need to be very clear about this. With this governor, with any Democratic governor, with any of us, these folks better not ever mistake our kindness for weakness, because we are going to stand in our breach.
Our kindness.
We're going to protect our neighbors, and we're going to advocate things that make a difference. And so, you know this, but I think it's important in this moment for us to gather together, for us to figure out, I don't know how to do it, because these guys bring out the worst in me. I hate when I get to that point where it gets petty. I hate when the sense of anger comes upon you. But the antidote to that is positive actions to improve lives that go against what they're trying to do. So instead of demonizing our Somali community, we're going to do more to welcome more in and welcome people in. Instead of
Oh, man. Do you believe that guy? Bring more. Bring more. But just maybe to start with the biggest one. Ilhan, right? Tom Homan laid it out. DHS is investigating. The Treasury is investigating. ICE is operational on the ground. And the woman at the center of it all, who spent years attacking American institutions while allegedly defrauding those same institutions, is watching the walls closing in. President Trump, Elon Musk, federal law enforcement, all aligned on one mission: expose the fraud, follow the money, and hold the protected class accountable. The Omar fraud matrix is crumbling in real time. You see, we've been covering this story as it develops, and tonight marks a very major turning point. The Department of Homeland Security has now confirmed an active investigation into Ilhan Omar for immigration fraud. The brother marriage allegation is now a federal case. Her net worth explosion from $65,000 to $30 million is now under scrutiny from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. ICE is raiding Somali properties across Minnesota. A restaurant owner was convicted of stealing $12 million. Dr. Oz exposing that Tim Walz knew and did nothing. And the woman who told you, America, you're stuck with us, is learning that citizenship obtained through fraud can be revoked. This is what accountability looks like when the political machine loses its protection. So we're going to continue following this story as the investigation unfolds. So my question to you, should Ilhan Omar be deported if the fraud allegations are proven true? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments, and visit our merch shop. It's linked in the description. Wow. Let's go. Yeah, that was great. That was great. Poor Ilhan. Such a victim. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's get into this next one here. The deep state boomerang is happening. Reset and let's roll, Brian. Oh, he needs a second. Brian just told me he needs a second. Absolutely. And stripped of all funds, says HDRK16. Where's the Justice Department on all this? People should be in jail already. I agree. Inbred Outlook dropping $5. What's up? Thank you for that. No message applied, but we do show it on the screen. That's the proof. Love you guys. Thank you for the support. For years, they weaponized the justice system against their political enemies. They launched investigations, leaked to the press, and destroyed lives without consequence. But tonight, the boomerang is in flight. Just hours ago, federal whistleblower Colonel Timothy Schindler went on camera with Laura Logan. Brian, take it over. I mispronounce those things. It's Laura Logan. We're going to do another take, guys. You okay with that? All right. For years, they weaponized the justice system against their political enemies. They launched investigations, leaked to the press, and destroyed lives without consequence. But tonight, the boomerang is in flight. Just hours ago, federal whistleblower Colonel Timothy Schindler went on camera with Laura Logan and delivered a warning that should terrify every deep state operative in Washington. If power shifts, the people who weaponize justice become the targets themselves. And that shift has already happened. Ed Martin and the DOJ Weaponization Working Group have opened investigations into Senator Adam Schiff and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Yes, the hunters are becoming the hunted. Now let's talk about what is really at stake here. Because for years, Adam Schiff stood in front of cameras claiming he had direct evidence of Russian collusion. He lied, he leaked classified information, he used his position on the Intelligence Committee to wage political warfare. Letitia James ran for Attorney General on the promise to get Trump, not to uphold the law, to get one man. She weaponized her office for political persecution, and now the same machinery they used against their enemies is turning around. Ed Martin laid out the framework months ago on Sunday Morning Futures. The DOJ Weaponization Working Group has been compiling the evidence. They have been documenting the abuses, and now, with the power shift complete, those files are becoming active investigations. And Colonel Schindler calls it the boomerang. When you weaponize the system, you better hope you never lose power, because the precedent that you set becomes the precedent used against you. And some breaking news on the health front. Big Pharma's weight loss injection empire is facing a crisis. A major new analysis found people who stopped taking Ozempic gained back nearly all the weight within a year. Now, that's the catch. You see, these drugs only work while you're on them. They're expensive. And the moment you stop, your body fights back. But here's the breakthrough. BioTrust GLP-1 Elevate helps your body naturally trigger the same hunger-controlling signals without needles, without prescriptions, and without the scary side effects. It promotes fullness, reduces cravings, supports fat loss, and helps keep blood sugar at healthy levels. And right now, get 40% off only at trimwithgary.com, plus a 60-day guarantee and free shipping at trimwithgary.com. Now, Colonel Schindler's interview with Lara Logan laid it out. He explained that the boomerang is not just a theory, it's actually happening right now. The people who thought that they were untouchable, who believe they could weaponize federal agencies without consequence, are watching the same tactics turned against them. Adam Schiff is facing scrutiny for his leaks and his lies. Letitia James is facing consequences and questions about her politically motivated persecutions. And the DOJ is under new leadership, is no longer protecting those protectors. You see, the working group has the receipts. The investigations are active, and the deep state operatives who spent years destroying others are about to learn what it feels like to be on the receiving end. Let's take a look here. We have this. This is Americans being destroyed by their own government, not for crimes, for belief. The video says everything. Weaponization ends, we expose it.
Go after people.
The work has just started in many ways, because for the opposition, their motto is weaponization today, weaponization tomorrow, weaponization forever.
What I've witnessed is the full force of a weaponized government, a system that punishes citizens instead of protecting them.
The DOJ uses novel applications of statutes to go after people that it doesn't like under vague conspiracy statutes.
Charge them with forced labor conspiracy.
He was given 300 years for a conspiracy case.
The FBI surrounded my house.
No underlying crime. It's a victimless crime.
With a conspiracy, they don't need any victims.
What they're doing is they're saying, we don't like this group of people. Well, we don't have a statute to prosecute them for it. Let's creatively interpret this thing and put these people in prison.
I could rattle off numerous cases, state and federal level. That should give everyone in this room chills.
I did 3 years in solitary confinement.
Arrested at gunpoint at 7 a.m. with 10 SUVs and helicopters.
I heard the prosecutor on day one manufacture evidence to the jury and lie to the jury.
The prosecutors had to admit that the evidence was fake, but the case continued on and they went to trial.
If that institution continues to be eroded, then we lose that freedom for all time.
What they did to my family was atrocious.
And it's going to be worse the next time, unless we stay united.
Weaponization Watch has to continue, and you're going to help us continue the mission.
I think the most important word in Weaponization Watch is the word watch. We have less than 3 years, ladies and gentlemen, to turn this ship around.
We have less than 3 years to turn this ship around. Those guys are on at weaponizationwatch.com. Check them out. President Trump on the government weaponization.
Government, I'm one of the people that survived, but they weaponized the government. We had the most weaponized government. Our election was rigged. They went after me. I was impeached twice. I was indicted. They indicted me. I came out good. Here we are in the White House. Things are looking nice, but they were vicious. And they are vicious. They're sick people. I'm one of them.
And it's all turning around. IRS whistleblower Gary Shapley and Joe Ziegler saw firsthand the weaponization of the federal government during the last administration. They tell Laura Trump about their concerns and about reliving it in their new book, Whistleblowers versus the Big Guy.
Weaponization of federal government. We talk about weaponization of federal government and how dangerous it is, and when the reality is, we saw exactly how it was weaponized under the Biden administration, and that's part of the reason why we want to put the book out there.
So there's a new book. We got this high-ranking attorney general employee caught on tape admitting to weaponizing government. I'm not going to play the full clip. It looks like it's a long one.
I'm going to play a quick clip here.
Oh,
this
you got a
clip
too.
Involves Criminal Bureau Chief Danielle Hageman Clark. You'll hear her speak. It also involves a detective sergeant from the Michigan State Police. And this is a discussion that's going to be had after a proffer has been proposed to an individual, and the individual leaves the room. And the only individuals left in the room are, as I mentioned, Ms. Hageman Clark, a couple of state police detective sergeants, another staff member from the Attorney General's office, as well as 2 special agents that both work for and directly to the Attorney General's office. So this is them discussing what they're going to do in regard to a case against an individual prior to choosing the venue.
Okay, so what next? Anything else you guys want to ask them?
There might be stuff after we break it down, but I think I'm good for right now. I like him. I mean, he's full of credible.
Yeah, to me it seems like, and we can do however you guys want to do this, but if we can prosecute anybody in Oakland County versus Roscommon County, love you guys to death up there.
Yeah,
I don't want a jury up there.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm not down with trying to pick no Roscommon jury. Edging people. We can pick an Oakland County jury. I'm not going that far. Listen, I really like Mary Beebe. I think she's a great prosecutor up there, but I don't want to be picking a jury of her peers up there on this kind of crap.
Did you hear those words? Did you hear those words? I'm gonna reiterate a couple of the sentences that were in here. I'm not down with trying to pick no Roscommon jury. I think she's a great prosecutor up there, but I don't want to be taking a jury of her peers up there on this kind of crap. That's the criminal bureau chief of the Attorney General's office. That is an absolute and clear violation of ethics.
So it just shows you the weaponization is at all levels. And here is the whistleblower, Laura Logan, speaking to Dr. Timothy V. Schindler, Colonel U.S. Marine retired, and federal whistleblower. How this kind of subversion happens is what the rear guard does. Let's listen.
Just doesn't get to their...
I asked you, how does this happen? And you said this is what the rear guard does. Who is the rear guard and what is the rear guard?
The rear guard...
And how are they able to do this?
When you run a complex organization, a large organization, if you don't want the boss to see things, you simply take care of it. Just doesn't get to their desk. It's just, I mean, when you have an organization of, say, 15 or 20,000 people, geographically dispersed across the nation, a broom sweeps only what it touches. And if you're not holding the broom, it's not sweeping. And you could have the best intentions in the world, but if you don't have a loyal crew, a loyal group of people that share your vision, then they can undermine you. And that's exactly what's occurring. They're undermining them. I mean, let's be honest. For the state of play for this case right now, we have to believe that the President of the United States signs out a presidential policy directive, and he specifically says, we're not going to tolerate this anymore. The Attorney General signs out a memorandum that says, I'm in absolute lockstep with my boss, and we're going to fix the corruption that exists inside the department. And then she goes so far as to set up a weaponization working group. Yet, an assistant attorney says, I represent the United States of America, and I don't want you to investigate corruption that specifically involves the DOJ. Not only is it completely bereft, it's illegal. It violates every rule, every canon and every rule of jurisprudence. It's against the very canons for being a lawyer even, not to mention a governmental attorney.
Okay, I understand that.
He wouldn't do that by himself. He didn't just
That's the
volunteer
point.
to do it. He didn't just say one day, hey, I'll just do that. He was directed to do it. Now,
by who?
Well, that's a good question. Now, if someone were to ask me as an investigator, I know what I would do.
What?
Well, I would simply subpoena him immediately, and I would ask him, are you now representing the United States of America, or did someone tell you to do this? And if they did, who? And I would work my way up the chain, just the way you're supposed to. I mean, this isn't.
Well, these are the answers the American people want, and
not want. They need.
Yes,
because
need.
their nation, our nation is only as strong as the quality of people who volunteer to perform these duties.
So who do you believe is directing him? What does your investigation and your research show? What is the rear guard?
We had a whistleblower who sent an official disclosure to the acting Attorney General before Pam Bondi was even put in office. And he said to him that all of the assistant U.S. attorneys that had worked for Jack Smith need to be investigated. But they didn't investigate him. They simply just let him go without any accountability, without any statutory obligatory requirement to who told you to do what, why did you do what you did.
So they let them off the hook.
They simply let them go.
I know, but who? That doesn't answer the question.
Oh, that was the acting assistant, the acting attorney general.
Okay, but who directed it?
I'll get you the disclosure. I don't have the name right on the top of my head, but I'll get you the disclosure.
That's of who he was, but who directed him to do that?
I cannot answer that question, but he can.
Right. But the point is that you're making is that these things are not random. They're not arbitrary. No. They're part. So this, again, is this coming from the rear guard?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what is the rear guard? Can you explain that?
The rear guard is a group of people that are ideologically driven to a particular point of view. And that point of view is not shared by the current administration.
But is it organized?
Of course it's organized.
So what's the organization then?
Council of the Inspectors General on Integrity and Efficiency.
Which is what?
The CIGI.
The CIGI.
Yes, a system that was designed to ensure the programs and operations of the federal government were effective and efficient. The whole point was when Elon Musk came in and performed the duties of the Inspectors General for the government, everybody acted shocked when they went, hey, there's like money hemorrhaging everywhere. Wow, yeah. Nobody seems to know what's going on. But funny, the only people that were statutorily required, programs and operations, effectiveness, efficiency of the government, specifically created by Congress, were the Inspectors General. And they said nothing.
It was their job.
Nothing. It was not only their job, they failed at their job.
Yeah, but their job, as they were required by law, they were created for that purpose.
Specifically for that purpose.
Wow. Okay, but so we're talking about the Council for Inspector Generals on Integrity and Efficiency, CIGI, right?
Yes.
When was that created?
1978.
No, the question is about CIGI. When was CIGI
that was
created?
In 2008.
By?
It was done in conjunction, the legislation was done in conjunction with Senator Grassley.
So this was under President Obama?
Yes.
Working with Senator Grassley?
Yes.
So this was a bipartisan effort, sort of Republican-Democrat?
Yes.
They together created the Council for Inspector Generals for Integrity and Efficiency?
Yes.
Which functions as what?
It acts as an independent entity established in the executive branch to oversight, train, educate, and provide individual counsel for all inspectors general. It answers unto itself.
Okay, how can it be an independent entity inside the executive
by Congress,
branch?
Because Congress established it as an independent entity inside the executive branch.
How can you be inside the executive branch and not be answerable to the president?
Well, you can if you don't believe in the unitary executive, that the president owns the executive branch. You can do that.
Wow. So who do they believe owns the executive branch?
Well, that's a good question. The president thinks he does.
Well, the whole country thinks he does.
Well, yes, the country agrees with him, but there is such a thing as we call the administrative state. Mm-hmm. Yes, we have this thing called the administrative state where we have
unelected officials.
Yes.
who, as far as the American people, so when they say it's a government of the people, for the people, and by the people,
Yes.
they don't mean it.
Sometimes people refer to the Department of Justice as the Department of Just Us, U.S. Just us.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. Wow. Here he talks about the boomerang effect.
When you throw the boomerang, it comes back to the
Right.
person who threw it. There is no doubt that all of these people who volunteered to perform public service on behalf of this president will become targets.
How?
I think that as we go through, and if the guard changes in the House or the Senate, they will be brought up on the very charges that the weaponization working group is supposed to be doing. They will not be given a pass.
So you need to explain that. What exactly do you mean?
The very work that the weaponization working group is supposed to be doing, they're supposed to be ferreting out corruption. You know, sort of like what we gave to the court.
Right.
They will use that. Except this time it will not be for this particular political class. It will be for their political class.
So if I understand what you're saying is, it won't be the people who carried out the fraud, the waste, the abuse, and the corruption, the seditious conspirators who have tried to overthrow the government, who have weaponized the Department of Justice, who weaponized the FBI, who weaponized the intel agencies. It won't be them. They won't be going down for their crimes.
No.
It will be all of the people from the president down who are currently in positions of power and authority, who are in office.
Who are abrogating their responsibility to stand tall and do the people's work.
Which is to hold these people accountable.
So the price that they will pay will be, they'll be held accountable for the crimes they were supposed to fix.
And didn't.
Yes, that's called a boomerang.
So that's a setup.
Yes.
It's also called a setup.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so this may be counterintuitive for some people, and so I just want to be certain that people really grasp what we're talking about. So instead of the people who've actually committed crimes being held accountable for those crimes, the people who are now in office,
in power,
who have taken an oath, and this is the key, right? Because that oath legally binds them.
Yes.
To stop the weaponization of government, to address the grievances of the American public,
and the whistleblowers that have been abused, and
the January 6th defendants who've been victims of weaponization, and all the other people. So their failure to actually do that is going to be used against them.
Yes, but more important than that, it will break the heart of what got this particular president in office. It's going to break the heart of every single person who thought that this president was going to fix the problem.
And didn't. And not only that, but he will be impeached for not fixing the problem.
And his staff, all the president's men.
All the way through the government, anyone they want to get rid of. Not their people.
They will be punished, yes.
And punished how?
I would assume they will be legally charged, and they will face legal charges, probably by the DOJ. Public Integrity Section, Criminal Division, Civil Rights violations, everything. Yes.
You know, it's interesting because I did speak to somebody who works inside the government, and one of the things that they're looking at in the intelligence world, this group is looking at reports that the law firm Perkins Coie, which is, very famous for Mark Elias. They were heavily involved in Russia collusion. In fact, they even had an FBI agent had an office inside Perkins Coie, right? Or was it the other way around? I can't remember. But Perkins Coie and the FBI were working together. And they were very much part of this fake Russia collusion narrative that was a seditious conspiracy. These people are preparing legislation to make administrative functions in the government. Failure to perform those administrative functions can expose the administrators to the death penalty. Is that even conceivable to you?
Yes.
Why?
Oh my goodness. Do you understand what's happening here? The architects of Lawfare are now facing it. Remember this? Sunday Morning Futures. Maria Bartiromo. Adam Schiff going down.
Attorney General Letitia James for mortgage fraud. And joining me now in this Sunday Morning Futures exclusive is the director of the DOJ Weaponization Working Group, Ed Martin. He is investigating the weaponization of government, including Adam Schiff, New York Attorney General Letitia James for mortgage fraud, and the January 6th probe, among others. Ed Martin, great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for being here.
Oh, always a pleasure, Maria.
And Ed, it has really, truly been a decade of dirty tricks, and that's being kind about it, against Donald Trump, beginning with the Russia hoax, to the impeachments, to the indictments, to the Hunter Biden laptop. Assess for us the last 10 years in your view, and you have criminal referrals right now on Adam Schiff, Letitia James, among others. What is the status?
Well, first of all, thanks for asking about the last 10 years. I mean, you know, when Donald Trump came into office as president, he signed an executive order saying, go and find out how government was weaponized against the citizens. When Attorney General Bondi came into office, she put a memo, put more specifics to it, and said, get to the bottom of this. She gave a specific list and a broad charge. And I have to tell you, for your viewers, we have the Attorney General Bondi has that Department of Justice spinning like a top. We've got more stuff going on. A lot of it we can't talk about because of the nature of it, but it's going like crazy. And one of them was we were in a group, we're still in it, working on the Russia hoax. And Tulsi Gabbard declassified what happened, and she sent it over to us, to DOJ, as a criminal referral, and that's ongoing now. But what that was, and Maria, you're one of the earliest, I think you might be the only person, the only journalist who said early on, this is a Russia hoax. And you know, Brett had President Trump on an interview on that flight to Alaska, and in the interview, President Trump said the Russia hoax was meant to destroy the relationship with Russia, make it impossible to get things under control, get a reset like Hillary said she wanted. So what we have in the Department of Justice now is a weaponization working group and the backing of our leadership to go and find this stuff. And so the Russia hoax, we know the birthday of the Russia hoax. It's December 8th, 2016, where the Obama administration, including Obama, said, don't put the truth out, lie, and ask the media to help us, and the Washington Post and others jumped right in. And then we had the Russia hoax that went on for 10 years. And every time they get in trouble, meaning the deep state and others, they throw another hoax out. And all we're doing at DOJ and all we're doing across the government is saying, get the truth out. And then, by the way, let's hold people accountable. And that's exactly what's going on. So when Bill Pulte sends a criminal referral over to us, and he says Letitia James and Adam Schiff, and by the way, both their lawyers have come out and talked publicly about that criminal referral. So you can talk to them about the specifics, because I'm going to tell you what we're going to do is we're going to follow the facts. Every American has a mortgage or has other documents they sign has to follow the law. We're going to go to the very bottom of the facts. And if somebody did something wrong, we're not only going to hold them accountable, we're also going to look at everything else that they've been doing, because when you're a liar, you lie not just on one thing. When you're a cheater, you cheat not just on one thing. When you're doing corruption, you generally don't just do it on one thing. So that's our what we're asked to do as prosecutors, and that's what we're doing.
Well,
So, yes, we know this to be true. The DOJ's new weaponization working group, to be led by Ed Martin, will investigate, dismantle, prosecute government agencies and individuals who have been targeting Americans for total destruction. It's underway. It's happening now. Whistleblowers are coming forward. President Trump laying it out. And the architects of Lawfare are now staring down the barrel of the very machine that they built. Adam Schiff, Letitia James, the leakers, the liars, the political prosecutors. They set the precedent that the justice system could be weaponized for political purposes. And now that precedent's being used against them. You saw that. Colonel Shindier warned them. Ed Martin documented the abuses, and the DOJ Weaponization Working Group is turning those documents into indictments. The boomerang's been thrown down, and it's coming back very fast. Now, here's why it matters. It's because for years, Americans watched in horror as federal agencies were turned into political weapons. They watched innocent people destroyed by investigators that were never about justice. They watched Adam Schiff lie on national television with zero consequences. They watched Letitia James promise to prosecute a man before she even took office. And they wondered if accountability would ever come. Well, tonight we do have our answer. The DOJ Weaponization Working Group has open investigations. And the colonel's gone public with warnings that the hunters are becoming the hunted. And the boomerang is in flight, and it's heading straight for the people who thought they were untouchable. This is what happens when power shifts and precedents matter. So do you think that Adam Schiff and Letitia James face prosecutions for weaponizing their offices? Yes or no? Let's talk about it. And if you want to support our work, hit the merch shop, link below. All right, let's keep going. I think I saw some, let's see here. We have a happy Cinco de Porto Day. Salty Nationalist, what's up? $10. And Inbred Outlook gifted one membership to Codename Redacted. That's cool. And David dropping 2 pounds sterling. Omar in cuffs. Reds will never lose again. And Inbred Outlook dropping another gift membership to Q1969. All right. Welcome to the family. All right. Let's keep going. We got some more news on the Obamacare front we got to tackle right now. We've been covering the Obamacare disaster for weeks, and tonight the dam has finally broken. The Government Accountability Office just exposed what we've been telling you all along. They created fake identities to test the system, fake names, fake social security numbers, fake everything, and 90% of those fraudulent applications were approved for taxpayer-funded health care. But that's not even the worst part. Speaker Mike Johnson just revealed that $94 million in Obamacare subsidies were sent to dead people. This is not a broken system. This is a crime scene. Now let's talk about what's at stake for every American that's watching right now. Senator Ron Johnson exposed the real agenda behind Obamacare, massive consolidation designed to crush competition and funnel money to insurance giants. Representative Brandon Gill revealed that premiums have doubled in just 4 years. Doubled. Senator Tuberville reminded everyone that 0 Republicans voted for this disaster. The Democrats own it completely. But here's where it gets criminal. John Thune and the GAO investigation found that 90% of fake accounts were approved. Representative Van Drew confirmed that every single fraudulent application got through. Speaker Johnson dropping the bombshell. $94 million to dead people. 23 of 24 fraudulent applications approved. 18 of those are still receiving benefits right now. Tens of thousands of duplicate Social Security numbers flooding the system. Senator John Kennedy explained why Democrats won't fix it, because they want it broken. They want it as an election issue. You see, they don't want solutions. They want dependency. And we do have some breaking news for every family that is watching tonight. The same government that just got caught sending $94 million to dead people, they want you to trust them with your food supply. That's not a plan. That is certainly a gamble. This Christmas, take control with an incredible deal from My Patriot Supply. It's the Buy One, Gift Two Christmas special. All month long. When you buy one emergency food kit, you get 2 absolutely free. Grab a 4-week supply for yourself, and they include 2 one-week kits for free. Perfect for gifts. These days, it just makes sense to have emergency food stored away. This offer is only available for this Christmas season. Head to preparewithgary.com right now. Don't wait. Prepare at preparewithgary.com. Now, here's what makes this even more outrageous. Dennis Michael Lynch spoke for millions of Americans when he said he's tired of reports. He wants to rest. We all do. Senator Rand Paul laid out the solution: repeal Obamacare. Allow cross-state insurance competition, expand health savings accounts, give people control over their own health care. And President Trump made it clear the system was designed to benefit insurance companies and not patients. His plan is to redirect those billions directly to the American people, but none of that happens until someone is held accountable for fraud. $94 million to dead people is not an accident. That's actual policy. And fraud without accountability isn't a bug, it's a feature. Now let's go to the press briefing room. Earlier today, the press secretary said that there is progress with respect to healthcare costs in the country.
To higher health. As for wanting a solution to lower healthcare costs, I'm glad you said it because the president is doing just that. He has made unprecedented progress towards lowering healthcare costs in this country and drug prices. He's secured numerous most favored nation drug price deals with many more to come. As you know, the One Big Beautiful Bill, the working family tax cut, significantly expanded access to health savings accounts for those on Obamacare. Again, a Democrat written program and approved program, which has led to higher healthcare costs in this country. So it goes back to the issue of affordability. Democrats are now pretending they want a solution to this issue, but they created the problem. The president and Republicans are currently coming up with creative solutions and ideas to lower healthcare costs for the American people, and you'll continue to hear more from them on that. As for
every promise made about Obamacare, we know it was a complete lie. Here's more. Democrats passed Obamacare from the press secretary.
I would like to remind, as for the subsidies that are set to expire, I would like to remind you and everybody at home why this is on the brink of happening. Democrats wrote Obamacare. They passed it without a single Republican vote, and then they ballooned it with these expensive COVID subsidies that completely distorted the health insurance market. And then they doubled down, extending those subsidies and setting their own expiration date right now in 2025, which the administration is obviously well aware of, and we are working. The president is working with his healthcare policy team here at the White House, as well as Republicans on Capitol Hill, to find a solution. As for the subsidies that are set to...
Democrats own it. They own it. They passed it. 19 hours ago, Senator Ron Johnson, Obamacare's implementation triggered a massive consolidation of the entire healthcare industry. Here he is on CNN.
It affects. So as you know better than I, the issue of health insurance premiums rising, skyrocketing really, is far beyond just people that use the Obamacare premiums. It affects every American. My understanding about the main reason why that is happening is kind of like a vicious circle, that premiums go up so healthy people quit, drop out, and don't have health insurance. And that means that the people who are left are sicker and older people, and then premiums continue going up because the pool isn't there to dilute the market, and then it just keeps going and going and going. What can be done about that?
First of all, the same number of Americans that have health care through the various, Medicare, Medicaid, employer-sponsored plans, VA, remains pretty stable, okay? So what has happened with the implementation of Obamacare is we've seen a dramatic consolidation of the entire healthcare industry. The insurers, the providers, hospital associations. So we have far less competition. We don't have consumerism. We've pretty well driven out the benefits of free market competition, which guarantees three things: lowest cost, best quality, best possible level customer service. We don't have that in healthcare, and Obamacare is taking us in the wrong direction. So again, Obamacare is faulty design on the individual market, making those small percentage of Americans bear the full cost of covering people with pre-existing conditions. I held a hearing. Maine covered people with pre-existing conditions perfectly before Obamacare destroyed their high-risk pool. So there's a way to fix this. Obamacare is not the way. Obamacare made the problem far worse.
And that's why it's time to repeal it. Let's see, we can find, do we have this whole big hearing today? Big hearing today. Here's Senator Rand Paul.
Taxpayers billions of dollars, and it costs every individual thousands of dollars a year in increased premiums. Obamacare hasn't worked. President Obama said it's going to bring down your health care premiums. It actually turned out our health care premiums will continue to rise. As conservatives, myself included, we warned in the debate over Obamacare that subsidizing insurance simply increases the demand and therefore increases the price of health insurance. Where once there existed the choice of a higher deductible plan with lower premiums, now Obamacare plans offer high deductibles and high premiums. Obamacare has largely destroyed the individual health insurance market, as government health insurance has replaced or pushed out all other private sources of insurance. My health care plan called the Health Marketplace and Savings Accounts for All, which I have introduced recently, does two things and costs the taxpayers nothing. First, my plan legalizes the ability for any group to purchase insurance collectively and operate across state lines. My plan would make it legal for Costco or Sam's Club or Amazon to bargain for their millions of members as a single entity, therefore driving prices down. These collectives would be bigger than any corporation in America, and they would have the size and leverage to drive down healthcare premiums.
Wow.
In fact, once these co-ops are legalized, the individual market likely melts away and everybody in America would gain the benefits that normally accrue to the group market. If you joined Costco, you'd be one of 44 million members, and when they negotiate for 44 million members, there'd be a group insurance plan, and inevitably, without question, this large group would be big enough to stare big insurance in the eye and reduce your rates.
Holy cow.
My plan is the only plan being offered that would drive prices down. All other plans, such as the Democrat plan to continue add-on subsidies to the original Obamacare subsidies, will just continue to drive up health insurance premiums. They're chasing their tail. All Republican variations of these plans only vary in the cost to the taxpayer. Some in the GOP want to simply give the fully expanded Obamacare subsidies not to the insurance company, but to the HSAs. Well, in reality, that may well be a distinction without a difference. It will cost the taxpayers the same amount and simply serve as a pit stop. The money will stop in your HSA, but inevitably flow to the insurance companies.
Wow. Dude, Rand Paul has got the plan. He's got the plan, baby. Wow. Let's check in with Congressman Brandon Gill in the committee hearing today.
Says Obamacare was sold to the American people as a program that would drive down premiums. I think the number that was thrown out by President Obama at the time was $2,500. Has that promise come to fruition?
No, it has not, Congressman. And premiums on individual health insurance policies on the marketplaces and the exchanges more than doubled in the law's first 4 years, and that's primarily because of the regulatory mandates that the law imposed. And premiums have continued to increase substantially, and they continue to increase substantially more so on the exchanges than for employer-sponsored coverage.
So you would say that Obamacare didn't slow the growth of premiums in any meaningful way?
I think, if anything, quite the contrary. I mean, Senator Welch, I believe, last month admitted on the Senate floor that the law failed to reduce costs. But more than that, I think it's accelerated the cost growth because of the consolidation that has come about in terms of hospital mergers, insurers buying PBMs, et cetera, et cetera.
Obamacare was...
Let's keep going. We got some more from the committee hearing. This is Tommy Tuberville. Democrats have been complete hypocrites on health care. 0 Republicans voted for Obamacare. Premiums have doubled. Democrats own this disaster.
Absolutely destroyed our health care system. It is completely unaffordable. As a result, American families are now paying the enormous price for Barack Obama and woke Democrats' Obamacare system. Sure, the idea of Obamacare sounded great. Who doesn't love the idea of free health care? But those of us who live in reality or understand basic economics knew this was never, ever going to work, which is why not a single Republican voted for it in the Senate or the House when it was voted on. You see, Obamacare was always destined to fail. You can't pump billions of dollars into health care and not expect rampant fraud to take place. It's not possible. Nevertheless, woke Democrats rammed it through Congress, and it was signed into law by President Barack Obama on March the 23rd, 2010. It was the biggest overhaul of our health care system since Medicare and Medicaid in 1965. On paper, it sounded great. Expand access, protect people with pre-existing conditions, and make insurance cheaper for families without employer plans. But to no one's surprise, what started as a bold Democratic dream of affordable coverage for all, it turned into a bloated mess. In fact, the only winners of Obamacare are the big insurance companies who are getting filthy rich on the taxpayers' money. Meanwhile, Americans are spending thousands of dollars on premiums for coverage that often doesn't cover their needs. And Americans can thank 9 of my current Democrat colleagues who voted yes on that final passage, December 2009, Senator Murray, Cantwell, Wyden, Merkley, Schumer, Gillibrand, Coons, Durbin, Sanders, Tammy Baldwin, who was in the House at the time. These Democrats jammed this through with not a single Republican vote, ignoring real concerns about how the system would limit competition, leading to lower standards of care, or how it would line the pockets of big insurance companies while forcing hardworking Americans to pay high premiums, or how it would decrease transparency, leading Americans who often leave the doctor's office not having a clue how much money they owe when they leave, or how rural hospitals would be forced to close their doors and doctors and nurses would be leaving the medical field because they couldn't make a living. But that didn't care about any of this. They didn't care about any of it because they always knew we would end up today in the position we are. 15 years later, they knew costs would become unaffordable for Americans. They knew that. But they were just fine with that because their end goal is to have socialized medicine paid for by American taxpayers, which, by the way, has not worked anywhere in the world. They have terrible health care when they do that. Obamacare was just the first step towards free health care for all. The first step. To start, Obamacare created state federal marketplaces where individuals could shop for coverage. These marketplaces were intended to be online for health plans. By the way, if you remember this, they spent about $10 billion and couldn't get the health care website going. But we wasted all this money. When they launched this, it just crashed. People couldn't use it for weeks, months. It cost us hundreds of millions of dollars daily. That was a foreshadowing of the disaster to come if you just think about it. On the marketplace, health plans are sorted in different levels: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Each level shows how costs are split, with bronze being the most basic and platinum.
And they should have added a poop emoji to select as well. Here we have Senate Leader John Thune reveals the Government Accountability Office did an audit revealing Obamacare subsidies granted without documentation.
And so I might just show you, this is what the GAO found, the Government Accountability Office, Mr. President. And this just came out literally just this last week. That Obamacare subsidies granted without documentation to 90% of fake accounts. So in other words, what the Government Accountability Office did is they ran an audit of the exchanges in which these insurance policies change hands and found that 90% of these fake accounts, Mr. President, were granted subsidies without documentation. And so we have spiraling healthcare costs, a program incredibly vulnerable, as is this evidence, vulnerable to fraud and abuse. And again, Democrats are proposing that we do absolutely nothing. And so I might just show you, this is
absolutely nothing. They just want the corruption to continue. Who's getting that money? Let's see if we can find some more here. Obamacare fraud. Here's Representative Van Drew. No, let's go to Senator. House Speaker Johnson.
Well, in Accountability Office, which I haven't seen too much written about yet, you should look into that. It is an eye-opener as well. It makes clear why it would be a dereliction of duty to just extend subsidies without massive reforms to them. Okay, over the last 2 years, this is investigators at the Government Accountability Office. Okay, they submitted 24 fraudulent applications for the ACA subsidies, the Unaffordable Care Act subsidies, Obamacare. Okay, of the 24 fraudulent applications that they created intentionally to just see what would happen, 23 of them were approved. These applications were completely fraudulent. The investigators did not submit any Social Security numbers, citizenship documentation, or reported income documents. And 23 of the 24 applications were still approved. 18 of those, by the way, are still receiving coverages they were as of September of this year. That means the Obamacare exchange and insurers didn't verify any of the information they were supposed to under the law, and they proceeded to pay tens of thousands of dollars to insurance companies for people who do not exist. Okay? The GAO report also found that 29,000 Social Security numbers in 2023 and 68,000 in 2024 were used to receive more than 1 year's worth of insurance coverage. In other words, multiple people were utilizing the same Social Security numbers to openly defraud the American taxpayers. The GAO also found that more than $94 million was sent to insurers on behalf of dead people. Okay? This is the system that Democrats in Congress want to extend without reform. It's unbelievable. Ability Office, which I haven't seen too much written about yet. You should look
no
into
one's
that.
talking about it. The mainstream media won't touch it because they're all in on it. I mean, you guys know that. Oh, let's go to Senator Kennedy.
As part of reconciliation, we need to do a health care bill as part of reconciliation. We need to invite the Democrats to join with us, and a few might, but most of them won't because they don't want to solve the problem. They want to maintain it as an issue in the elections. That doesn't mean we ought to do nothing.
Can you do that, though, before the premiums go up? Can you get that done before people start having letters in the mail that say, I'm going to be paying, double what I was paying before, and looking around and saying, whose fault is this?
No, and that's the Democrats' fault. They shut down government.
Yeah.
We should have been doing this, talking about this back in October. But frankly, back in October, we should have started a reconciliation bill, and the Republicans should have done this all on their own without Democratic support if the Democrats don't want to join us. We know how to fix the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. We know how to stop the fraud. We know how to do PBM reform. We know how to do site neutrality. We know how to design a health care delivery system that looks like somebody designed it on purpose. But I'm sorry, I hope I'm wrong, but I doubt it. The Democrats aren't going to help us. We've got it. No one's coming to save us but ourselves. We need to do a health.
And I think we got a clip here from the President of the United States. Here he is. This is just 23 hours ago.
Affordable because it's the Unaffordable Care Act, which is Obamacare. They call it now the unaffordable because it's unaffordable. It used to be called the affordable, but it was never affordable. It was always bad. It was basically designed for the benefit of insurance companies. And what we're doing is we want all of the billions and billions of dollars that went to insurance companies to go directly to the people, and they can buy their own health care. And people love it. I don't know if the Democrats are going to approve it because they want the insurance companies to make money. It was a scam. Obamacare was a scam. But we're going to see. I mean, the Republicans, I can tell you, want the money to go to the people. And we're winning that battle. The Democrats are having a hard time with it because they're in the pocket of the insurance companies. Well, the Unaffordable Care Act, which is Obamacare.
This is the conversation that needed to be had for a very, very long time. And I'm glad someone's finally addressing this. It really came to a head during the shutdown, if you recall. They kept talking about the subsidies going up, subsidies going up. We need to address this. Well, guess what? We're going to address it now. And now all the corruption's coming out. Oh, yeah. So let's be clear about what the evidence shows. The GAO tested the system with obviously fake applications, and 90% were approved. $94 million going to dead people. Duplicate socials everywhere. And the people who designed the system are still walking free. It's not healthcare, it's a heist. Until someone goes to prison, nothing changes. And Senator Kennedy's right. Democrats want it broken. They profit from chaos, but the American people are waking up and they're demanding more than reports, they're demanding justice. So we've been tracking this Obamacare fraud story as new evidence emerges, and tonight's revelations are the most damning yet. The GAO created fake identities, 90% approved. Speaker Johnson revealing 94 million sent to dead people. 23 out of 24 fraudulent applications sailed right through. 18 still receiving benefits today, and tens of thousands of duplicate socials are in the system. And Ron Johnson exposed the consolidation scheme. Kennedy explained why Democrats refused to fix it. And Dennis Michael Lynch said what we're thinking. Enough reports, we want arrests. This isn't a healthcare program anymore. It's an industrial-scale fraud operation baked into the system by design. And fraud without accountability isn't incompetence, it's policy. So we're going to continue following this story as evidence mounts. I'm asking my question for you. I have to ask you, should there be criminal prosecutions for Obamacare fraud? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments. And while you're there, visit our merch shop. It's linked in the description. All right. I want to check something here. See if I can do this. I'm not sure if I can. I will try. You remember that meme I was telling you about? Let's see. What is it? Sora. Let's see if I converted that. Well, you didn't see the actual. Let's see. How do I can't log in? Why can't I log in? My token expired? What does that mean? Log in. That's weird. I want to log in now. Meow. Right? Meow. It won't let me. I don't know why. Let me try something else. Let's see if this will work. Okay, log in. Log in. Let's see if I could show you the meme. That'd be good. At least you know what I'm talking about. Let me get that X here. And then there's this. And then there's this. Okay. So you got my email address already. Okay, let's move ahead. You have my password. Okay. A code. Oh my goodness. Sometimes technology is such a pain in the ass. Okay, let's find that code. Oh, here we go. It is. Okay, let's see. It's that. And then. Okay. All right. Let's go. Are we in? Okay. I'm trying to show you my. Okay, so the meme that was made by me is, well, no, the meme came from the White House. So this is the meme that they made. The Deportation Express. So what I did was I literally just went to ChatGPT and said, take this and turn it into a movie trailer. Just sending it the picture of the meme. And it refused to give me what I wanted, so I had to use a different tool. And so I've got a couple versions. Where is... What? I thought it was just there. Oh, here we go. Okay. So... What the hell? I was just in there. I was literally just in there. What? I just had it open. Okay. Now we're back. All right. So the meme you saw, and now here is the output that I created. This is the first version. And then here is the version I think is more reflective. Okay, I'm just working on this thing here. Sorry, it's like, and then there's another version that I think is, there's two versions I had to make. So I'm going to see if I can get these in my gallery. All right. Nice. Perfect. Okay. This took a little bit of work, but let's watch together. I haven't seen this one yet, so I don't know. Oh, it won't play? Well, okay, we'll do this version then. Okay.
Your journey begins now.
Okay, so that's like the safe version, and I said, you know, make it more reflective of the meme, and this is what it gave me for the second one. Oh, that's hilarious. It's got the White House logo on it. That's funny, dude. And here's the second one. Here illegally? Deportation expense. This holiday season, you can go home. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, it needs a little bit of work. It does need a little bit of work. I would add some voiceover narration and that kind of thing to it, but what do you guys think of that? Where's the chat room? There it is. Okay. Was that pretty cool? You guys like that? Is that crazy, man? Technology is insane. I literally just gave it a meme and I said, make it into a movie. Okay. Let's get back on track here because I actually have someplace to be and with my family this evening, and we're going into our fourth topic. Oh, yes, Illinois. Okay. Oh, yeah. Let's go. My home state. We've been covering the sanctuary state chaos in Illinois, and tonight it just exploded into a full-scale war between Springfield and Washington. Governor J.B. Pritzker just signed the most radical illegal immigration protection bill in state history. It shields criminal aliens from deportation. It creates no-go zones for ICE. When Tom Homan, Trump's border czar, heard about it, he laughed directly in Pritzker's face and said, "Good luck with that." What's happening in Illinois right now should actually terrify every American who's watching. Because this is what happens when states declare war on federal law. Let's talk about what's at stake, because Pritzker's new bill doesn't just protect illegal immigrants. It protects criminal aliens facing serious charges. No spin news. Bill O'Reilly confirmed it. Even when migrants face violent charges, Pritzker won't turn them over to ICE. Representative Mary Miller called it a complete and total betrayal to the rule of law and every innocent victim in Illinois. Jonathan Fahey on Varney and Company put it bluntly. What he's doing is utter nonsense, and it's actually harmful. But the damage goes far beyond immigration. Just the News revealed that Pritzker is refusing to release SNAP eligibility rolls to the USDA. That means Illinois families may have their food benefits cut because the governor won't cooperate with federal oversight. Meanwhile, crime is exploding on the Chicago CTA. The tragic case of Bethany McGee, murdered by a repeat offender, now haunts Springfield, and the Trump administration is threatening to cut 25% of federal transit funding unless security improves. But we do have some breaking news on the health front for you this holiday season. While Governor Pritzker refuses to protect Illinois families, you need to protect yourself. Okay, it's December. Between office parties, family gatherings, and New Year's Eve, your gut is taking an absolute beating. rich foods, alcohol, desserts, and that's why you need Good Brew. It's the only probiotic that survives in hot morning coffee. The co-founder nearly called 911 when severe acid reflux caused food to lodge in his throat. Doctors wanted him on antacids for life. Instead, he discovered BC30 probiotic. Within 1 week, his reflux was gone, and one scoop delivers 1 billion CFUs of beneficial bacteria plus organic fiber. And they've got a Christmas special right now. Visit goodbrew.com for your free travel size plus 10% off with code NEXTNEWS. That's GOODBRU.com. Now, here's where it gets even worse for Illinois taxpayers. The state just landed at number 7 on the judicial hellholes list, with a tort tax approaching $1,900 per resident. Pritzker's continuing to tax tips even as other states end the practice. Electric bills are expected to rise 40% because he rammed through a new green energy mandate. And while working families struggle, he quietly handed $500 million in tax breaks to Chinese EV manufacturers. Representative Mary Miller issued the ultimatum. Mass deportations will continue. Pritzker's law will be ignored, overwritten, and bulldozed by federal enforcement. ICE is already operational, and this bill may soon become Exhibit A in a constitutional showdown. Now, check this out. Here's Bill O'Reilly, No Spin News, breaking it down.
Let's put the propaganda aside. Well, the best place to learn about this is Illinois. They have a governor named J.B. Pritzker, very liberal man. Okay, and Chicago, Cook County, is a horrendous crime problem. Rest of the state, not so bad. But Chicago is really out of control. We stats are the stats. Okay, murder and murder and murder. And, oh, it's going down. Okay, fine. Let's sweep up those 30 bodies we had over the weekend, but it's going down. You know the game. So Pritzker basically is refusing to cooperate with the federal government, Homeland Security. We're not going to help you. We're not going to hold anybody for you. And all of that. So Homeland Security comes out with a press release. And it says that under Pritzker, for this year, 2025 so far, there's 1,768 criminal illegal aliens, all right, that have not been turned over to ICE. 5 homicides, 141 assaults, 23 burglaries, 24 dangerous drug offenses, 10 predatory sexual offenses, 15 weapons. Even though those are the charges against the undocumented people, Pritzker won't hand them over. Okay. So if it were me, see, Trump's too light. He's too light. I'd find a way to indict Pritzker. I might not win. And I know it would make him a hero in the liberal precincts, but I do it anyway. I'd have the Justice Department go in and say, you know what? You're interfering with federal law. You'd find something. And so we're going to haul you in. And we're going to expose what you're doing. And all the people that are being hurt because you're doing it. Let's put the propaganda aside. Well, the best place to learn about...
1,700 illegals released. These signs are propping up. Pritzker sucks. If you live in Illinois, you've probably seen them. Just the news, 48 hours ago, Mary Miller appeared, says Governor Pritzker is hurting the people he's supposed to be helping.
Illegals are not included. Well, it better, because we're going to use it. I'm on the House Agriculture Committee, and I fought very hard to ensure that illegals are not included in SNAP benefits. And now the state of Illinois, Governor Pritzker refuses to cooperate with the USDA and release the eligibility rolls for SNAP. And they're going to have their benefits cut off, and he can explain it to the citizens in Illinois. But American people have had it. They know that they've been abused. And they want what President Trump is trying to do, and that is transparency in the government and accountability.
Why do you think a governor wouldn't want to let the people who pay SNAP benefits, the federal government, see what's going on there? What are they trying to hide?
Well, we're a destination state for every rotten thing. Obviously, where for illegals to come here and sign up for every single kind of benefit. We've spent billions of dollars that we don't have on the health care for illegals, and I'm certain that they're all signed up for SNAP benefits as well. And this is all about elections. It's about getting their votes.
Yeah, it is, right? And then I guess at the end of the day, apportionment too, right? Because every illegal that's counted ultimately helps set the formulas for federal funding, for representation. Has that been the long game that Democrats have played, to use illegal immigration to hijack apportionment?
Absolutely. And we lost one district. Last time, I kind of think we should have lost two. But, there again, in light of voter rolls, if they won't be transparent and they won't tend to the voter rolls and make sure ineligible people, dead people, and illegals are not on there, they can have their federal funding withdrawn to run the elections.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Well, it better, because...
Let's go to Varney and Company. What he's doing is utter nonsense.
Federal immigration, the situation in Illinois, where Governor Pritzker has enacted a new law prohibiting federal immigration arrests near courthouses, hospitals, daycares, and colleges. Again, doesn't federal law overshadow state law here?
You're exactly right. And I wanted to say that what he's doing is utter nonsense, but it's actually harmful. But two reasons. This is kind of a remarkable feat if you look at it, because not only is this law unconstitutional under the Supremacy Clause of the United States, and it's unequivocally clear that it is. The second part, which makes it even worse, if they were to try to enforce this law, meaning Illinois, they would be violating criminal law federally because they would be impeding ICE agents from doing their job. So it's a really remarkable thing, because if he sends out state agents to enforce this law, he can subject them to criminal liability. And he knows, and he certainly should know, that this is just patently unconstitutional. But we know his real motive here. He's trying to position himself within the Democratic Party to be the nominee for president. So you not only have to fight Donald Trump at everything, but you have to be in favor of massive illegal immigration, mass amnesty, and open borders. And that's exactly what he's doing. But it's very shameful.
It also undermines law and order. I mean,
it undermines our entire nation, is what it does. Governor Pritzker's sanctuary state policies.
Immigration, a new report now on sanctuary policies in the state of Illinois. Immigration and Customs Enforcement saying that Governor Pritzker has overseen the release of more than 1,700 dangerous criminal illegal aliens since the 20th of January, including murderers, pedophiles, and kidnappers, sending them back into neighborhoods and putting American lives at risk. It is turnstile justice. And there's more of that coming up.
Turnstile justice. The Sean Thompson show. He writes, the fat trust fund pig Pritzker just jammed through another green energy scam. The SB 25, your electric bill going up.
Handed trust fund. I should have known it was going to be cloudy today. I saw an Illinois license plate yesterday. The minute you see that, you know bad about to ensue. And it's funny to watch all of the ignorance to what that fat pig, that butter-handed trust fund pansy who doesn't pay any taxes, Pritzker did with his executive order, like let's say SB 25. That's where you're going to pay off the electric companies and kickbacks to the politicians in the name of green energy. As everybody knows, all of the prediction of global warming, the whole fracking thing, every data point, all lies and so that you could steal the freaking money for politicians. And the decent people, your energy bill is going to go up 40%. Don't worry, though. It doesn't kick in for another 6 months. You're all too stupid to remember what he did yesterday. That's going to be fantastic to watch the reality. That and Tammy Duckworth, who will not lose a vote, even though on a Sunday show, she contradicted herself within 30 seconds. You got the video? I don't have the video. Because she's pathological. Pathological liars. That's what a Democrat is. When their lips are moving, it's a lie, lie, lie. Like, let's go a little bit deeper. I remembered something from about 6-7 months ago that I had stumbled across when it came to this feeding our future. Might even be longer. And it was a recorded tape. One of the Somalia scumbags had taped Keith Ellison, the AG, vowing to protect him. That's why they give the campaign contributions. You see, they don't like the cut of their jib. They're not in there because I like the way you articulate policies of socialism. They're bribing these rat pigs in the same way ComEd bribed that little short-in-the-pants gangster Mike Madigan and every other rat Democrat that destroyed our once great city. And they're still the ones going to make the money. He's got the tape of Keith Ellison vowing to protect him on the tape. So we now know, and we've known for years, Democrats are criminals. And they know their policies are full of shit. They sell a lie. They know it. That's why they never want to go their own way. We got these things in our hands right now. You could declare yourself blockchain. It's all technical. You don't have to leave your fracking house. You want Obamacare? Vote for Obamacare. Then you guys take it. We'll go our own way. You want to do that? No, of course not. Because it exists on extorting the future. Stealing all the tax money today and guaranteeing to steal it tomorrow. Everything they say is a lie. And it has been for generations. It's time to ignore, reject, and separate. Separate. Stick on this. Forget about the elections. They steal them. They stole 2020. You had a moron with dementia for 4 years and everybody know it. It's time to separate. It's time to argue it. And we've got the evidence. They're thieves. I don't go near thieves. 4 p.m., AM 560, The Answer. Chin strap tight. Make sure, because we're going to bring it all out. I never threw out those tapes. We've got them for years. They are guilty.
Nice.
I should have known it was going to be
Sean Thompson nailing it again. Here is the reporter William Kelly. And with the tragic case of Bethany McGee and the increase of crime on the CTA, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson and Pritzker are on the shakiest ground to argue against the Trump administration's threat to cut CTA federal funding.
Cold. So the attack on Bethany McGee, you think she deserved that?
Right. To understand the battle you're about to see, you have to know about Bethany McGee, the woman who was started on fire on a train while minding her own business by a man arrested over 70 times.
Hundreds of thousands of people have reached out to me expressing outrage at your cold, heartless response to Bethany McGee's the vicious attack on her, calling it an isolated incident. When a young woman is set on fire on Chicago's public transportation, that coupled with your statement that it's a sickness to incarcerate people, violent repeat offenders who, quote, in your own words, look like you. People find that absolutely outrageous. And I've had many black and brown people reach out to me and say that had it been someone that you care about, had it been someone that you love, you would have been outraged by that attack. What do you say to those people, Mr. Mayor?
Well, first of all, what I've said from the very beginning is that this was a tragedy, and this woman is fighting for her life. And as I've said repeatedly from a question that was raised earlier, that this, that individuals that clearly have a violent past, as well as mental health issues, should not be on the streets of Chicago.
70 plus arrests.
Wait a minute, that's not what Mayor Brandon Johnson said before. Rewind the tape.
I am trying to eradicate the sickness from this city and from this country. Jails and incarceration and law enforcement is a sickness that has not led to safe communities. I'm going to work hard every single day to protect the people who are caught up in violence in this city. Guess why? You want to know why? Because the vast majority of them look like me.
William Kelly does some great work. You should follow him if you're not. And what do we have this? Illinois keeps paying for everyone else. Landed number 7 on the judicial hellholes list with a tort tax near $1,900 per resident. Here's more from Mary Miller. She says innocent American families are living with the devastating consequences of J.B. Pritzker's sanctuary agenda, yet he continues to attempt to override federal immigration law and release criminal aliens back on the streets. Newsflash, mass deportations will continue.
Responding to it. Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a new bill creating even more legal protections for immigrants.
While I feel a deep sense of shame about the actions of our federal government, I feel great pride in how we in Illinois are responding to it.
This morning, I spoke to Jennifer Boss. You may remember earlier this year, her daughter Megan's body was found in the backyard of an illegal immigrant, stuffed into a trash can, covered in bleach, and left to decompose for more than 2 months. Thanks to Illinois' laws, that man was back out on the streets almost immediately until President Trump stepped in and had ICE track him down. Jennifer told me with this many criminal illegal aliens being set free, there are going to be other families forever changed, just like hers.
It is a human crisis. These people are here, not all of them, the criminals. They're hurting people. And our leadership in Illinois is allowing it to happen over and over and over again. For what? Ideology?
In addition to the 1,700 criminal illegal aliens already released, ICE says there are another 4,000 the state currently has in custody that the agency wants, but that the state is refusing to hand over.
Unreal, man. Just arrest Pritzker already, please. Can we just do that? Can we get it over with? Here's Mary Miller just 24 hours ago.
Not you, Illinois citizens, but illegal aliens that are in our state committing heinous crimes. You cannot be angry enough. This is causing chaos for the people that live here. We're having to pick up the financial tab and the human toll. I've met personally with multiple family members who've had loved ones murdered by illegals or by illegals with driver's licenses, CDL licenses. J.B. Pritzker has made Illinois a dangerous place to live. See for yourself who J.B. Pritzker is prioritizing and protecting. This morning, Governor Pritzker took another bold step to protect not you.
Tom Homan calling the bluff of Pritzker.
A message to Donald Trump, to Kristi Noem, to Gregory Bavino, and anyone else seeking to terrorize our people. Your divisiveness and your brutality are not welcome here.
Oh, please.
Tom, what's your message to him tonight?
Well, good luck with that. I mean, we're going to keep doing what we're doing in Chicago.
Good luck with
Talking
that.
about terrorizing, why don't he talk to the victims of illegal alien crime? Why don't he do what I've done and talk to the angel moms and dad who buried their children because they were killed by someone that's not supposed to be here? Why don't he talk to, call the ICE office and talk to people that are involved with voice, victims of immigration crime, and hear their stories. They're the ones that are terrorized. ICE is making Chicago safer. ICE is making the state of Illinois safer. Bottom line is, look at the criminals we're arresting. And that makes that state and that city safer. So you can pass all the policies and local ordinances you want. Federal law always trumps local and state law. We're going to continue doing what we're doing. And as we bring on the 10,000 more agents, we're going to continue to flood the zones in sanctuary cities to include Chicago. You're not stopping us. We're going to keep doing what we're doing.
Tom.
So Tom Homan made the federal position crystal clear. A state governor cannot create no-go zones for ICE. The signs have no legal authority. They will do nothing to impede federal officials. Pritzker's bill is not a challenge, it's a taunt, and the federal government is preparing to answer it. The DOJ is readying federal challenges. Funding threats are escalating, and every criminal alien that Pritzker tries to protect is now a federal target. Illinois just declared war on immigration enforcement, and that war is about to come crashing down on Springfield. Now, we've been covering the sanctuary state disaster in Illinois for quite some time, and tonight Pritzker just escalated to open war with the federal government. He signed a bill creating no-go zones for ICE. He's refusing to hand over criminal aliens even when they face serious charges, and Tom Homan laughing in his face, saying good luck with that. Representative Mary Miller called it a complete and total betrayal of the rule of law and every innocent victim in Illinois. Meanwhile, Illinois families may lose SNAP benefits because Pritzker refuses to release the eligibility rules. And crime is exploding on the CTA. Electric bills rising 40%, and he's taxing tips while giving $500 million to Chinese EV manufacturers. This is not governance, it's ideological warfare against Illinois taxpayers. And federal enforcement is coming whether Pritzker likes it or not. My question for you in the comments, let's talk about it. Should federal funding be cut to sanctuary states completely? Yes or no? Let's have a conversation. And while you're there, visit our merch shop. It's linked below. All right. I need to send a message to my beloved. I think she just called me. Let's see. Let's see here. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I have to. Okay. Sorry. Those first two segments ran a lot longer than I expected, so I am behind schedule, and I have to be at my children's Christmas function. So let's get into this here. Let's see. Let's go to okay, let's go. The media war just went nuclear, and President Trump declared today that CNN should be sold because the people running it are either corrupt or incompetent. But that's not even the biggest story. Stephen Miller, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff, offered to appear on any CNN show they wanted. He was ready for live debate. He was ready for pushback on fake news, and CNN declined. Why? Because, according to the White House Communications Director, they know he'd run circles around their hosts. CNN is now so afraid of scrutiny that they're actually hiding from the administration they attack every single day. Now let's talk about what's at stake here, because this is not just a feud between the White House and the cable network. This is about whether the American people will continue to be lied to by media institutions that refuse to be held accountable. And today, Breitbart reported that Trump clocked a CNN reporter at a White House briefing who tried to revive a dead issue about cabinet turmoil, and Trump shut her down instantly, saying he reads the same fake stories and his cabinet has done a great job. Last week, Jake Tapper got caught labeling the January 6th pipe bomber suspect Brian Cole as a white man without any evidence, without confirmation, just narrative engineering on live television. And now Rapid Response 47 has released flashback clips showing exactly why CNN banned Stephen Miller. In one viral exchange, CNN asked if Miller was profiling brown people. His response? What a dumb question. It's just a lie, and it's just a dumb question. CNN, of course, could not handle him, so they banned him. And we got some breaking news that the mainstream media won't tell you about. While CNN hides from debates they can't win, a health revolution is happening that Big Pharma doesn't want you to know about. Red light therapy. After Jonathan Otto introduced this technology to me and my wife, we experienced transformations we didn't think possible. Her chronic pain, anxiety gone, my energy recovery better than guys half my age. Major medical journals show 300% faster healing and pain elimination in minutes. The same technology costs thousands at clinics, but Jonathan made it available for your home. His panels use 9 specific wavelengths with hospital-grade components and zero EMF exposure. NASA researched it, FDA cleared it. Visit myredlight.com and use code NNN for the best deal. That's myredlight.com, code NNN. Now, here's what makes the story even more damaging for CNN. Stephen Chung, Trump's communications director, went public with the receipts. He said Stephen Miller graciously made himself available to appear on any CNN show these last few days to discuss a wide range of topics and pushback on fake news. Well, CNN, of course, declined. Chung's conclusion, they're afraid because they know Miller would run circles around every single one of them. I mean, think about that. The network that attacks the administration around the clock refuses to put their host in the same room with a White House official who can defend himself. They won't debate. They want a one-way propaganda stream, and they just got exposed. Here's President Trump talking about CNN.
People that have run CNN for the last, I think the people that have run CNN for the last long period of time are a disgrace. I think it's imperative that CNN be sold, because you certainly wouldn't want to put people, just leave those people with some money, good money, and CNN, so that, you know, they can spend even more money spreading poison, because it's lies. It's a disgrace. So I wouldn't want to see the same company end up with CNN, the same company with money, because right now they don't have too much money, but they have value, I guess, based on the bids. So they've got value. But I think CNN should be sold, because I think the people that are running CNN right now are either corrupt or incompetent.
And that would be a factor in the decision making, because we've got some.
Well, in my mind, but I can be talked out of that by some very talented people that we have, antitrust people. But I just think that the people that have run CNN into the ground, by the way, nobody watches, very few people watch. I don't think they should be entrusted with running CNN any longer. So I think any deal should be guaranteed and certain that CNN is part of it, or sold separately. But I don't think the people that are running that company right now and running CNN, which is a very dishonest group of people, I don't think that should be allowed to continue. I think CNN should be sold along with everything else. I think the people that have...
Oh, man, dude. Trump's not playing. Here's President Trump clocking a CNN reporter for trying to revive a dead issue.
Has Secretary Hegseth told you why he hasn't released the video of the second strike?
No, he hasn't told me. I thought that issue was dead. You're surprised you bring it up. You must be CNN.
Lawmakers are still talking about it on the Hill.
Are you CNN?
I am with CNN.
Oh, gee, I'm shocked to find out.
But lawmakers are still talking about it on the Hill.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know about lawmakers. Which lawmakers you're talking about?
Most of the Democrats are talking about trying to release it.
I mean, the people that you work for, the Democrats? You know you work for the Democrats, don't you? You're basically an arm of the Democrat Party.
Oh, man. President Trump, dude. Here's a flashback. Stephen Miller's greatest hits. Oh, I love Stephen Miller. But this is what they posted. Fake news CNN refuses to book Stephen Miller because he keeps exposing their lies and humiliating their hosts. Stephen Chung posting that Miller has graciously made himself available to appear on any CNN show these last few days to discuss a wide range of topics and to push back on fake news. Yet CNN is so afraid they decline to have him on because they know he'd run circles around their hosts. CNN is actively engaging in partisan politics and acting as a propaganda arm of the Democrat Party. So let's see. Where's the highlight reel? Okay, we're going to get this clip from Caroline Levitt in a moment. But let's see. I want to see a highlight reel of Stephen Miller's greatest hits, man. This one's 9 minutes long. I'm not going to play that. But I'll play this 1 minute clip here. This is good.
Designed. Is it the case that, as Pritzker frames it, you are profiling brown people? That this immigration crackdown is designed to go after people of color?
It's such a, oh, what a dumb question. The illegal aliens who are here are taking jobs away from blacks. They're taking jobs away from whites. They're taking jobs away from Latinos. They're taking their health benefits away. They're taking their school slots away. And of course, in many cases, they're committing heinous crimes. We cannot have a system of law in this country that privileges illegal aliens over American citizens. And that's what they're doing. You know it, and I know it.
So that's not exactly a no, Stephen. Can you just unequivocally state that the immigration policy... I said it's a dumb question. Okay.
Well,
I appreciate
no,
that. But
and it's a dumb question.
So no, this policy is not designed to... I thought when I said it was a dumb question, it meant no. Well, I just want to be clear and precise. I appreciate you trying to qualify my questions, but nevertheless, I think it's a fair one that a lot of people have.
My full answer is no, that is a lie, and it's a dumb question.
Is it the case that, as Pritzker frames it...
Oh, man, dude. Here's another clip of CNN pushing their usual propaganda.
Good evening. For more than a year, the President of the United States has claimed the Russia story is a hoax. Now, a stunning indictment says it is not, no matter what the President has been saying again and again and again.
Even the small lies confirm that Trump cannot be trusted. Merely repeating what he says or taking his word for it just makes a bad situation worse.
We all know the president's no collusion, no obstruction mantra. We know it's false.
Investigation adds up to it is certainly not over. It certainly clears no one, least of all the president, and it certainly is no hoax.
What you have said on CNN is you've seen evidence of collusion between Trump campaign associates and the Russians.
Seems like it's all fun and games for this president, as long as he can distract and deflect.
This is an apple. Some people might try to tell you that it's a banana. They might scream banana, banana, banana over and over and over again. They might put banana in all caps. You might even start to believe that this is a banana. But it's not. This is an apple.
I'm not going to give you a
Can
question.
you stay categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
Good evening. For more than a year, the president...
Oh, man, that was good. Fatty McGrizzle is the creator of that one. That was solid gold. Here's Caroline Levitt dropping the mic on CNN's Caitlin Collins just 4 hours ago.
Inherited 2 mixed signals in terms of what that looks like. But on inflation is down from where it was. As measured by the overall CPI, it has slowed to an average 2.5% pace. This is down from what the president inherited. The president inherited 2.9% in January. Today it's at about 2.5%. So we're trending in the right direction with more to come. And I would remind you, when President Trump left office in his first term, inflation was 1.7%. And the previous administration jacked it up to a record high 9%. So again, in 10 months, the president has clawed us out of this hole. He's kept it low at 2.5%, and we believe that number is going to continue to decline, especially as energy and oil prices continue to decline as well. It wasn't high under Biden. They're just saying it's not. Well, nobody reported on it being high under Biden. My predecessor was standing at this podium, but now you want to ask me a lot of questions about it, which I'm happy to answer. But I will just add, there's a lot more scrutiny on this issue from this press corps than there was. Well, and the previous administration said that too. My predecessor stood up at this podium and she said inflation doesn't exist. She said the border was secure. And people like you just took her at her word. And those were two utter lies. Everything I'm telling you is the truth, backed by real factual data. And you just don't want to report on it because you want to push untrue narratives about the president. Mixed signals in terms of what that looks like.
Well, that's why we exist too. Push back on all this crap. This is the moment that Jake Tapper, we played this when it happened, but this is just another example.
Ryan Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction.
I mean, need I say more? Oh, man. Let's see. Here's more from the president just 24 hours ago, smacking down the fake news about his cabinet.
I was unhappy. I think my cabinet's fantastic. I read the same stories that I'm unhappy with this one or that one, and I'm not. I think the cabinet's done a great job. I read a story that I was unhappy with Pete because he was attacking drug dealers. I said, that's not exactly right. I would say very much the opposite. Pete Hegseth has been phenomenal. I read a story recently. I'm unhappy with Christie. I'm so happy with it. I mean, we have a closed border. We have a border that's the best border in the history of our country. Why would I be unhappy? She's fantastic, actually. No, we have a fantastic cabinet. A really fantastic cabinet. I mean, Lutnick I'll have to think about. No, can't have everything. Can't have everything. He's doing great. Well, Howard's done really well, and Scott's done really well. We have just a fantastic cabinet. I think my...
So, here's the thing. CNN, they can't defend their narratives. CNN can't withstand scrutiny. CNN cannot face the very officials they criticize daily, so they retreat, they censor, they smear. And when that fails, they hide. But the White House not backing down. Trump setting the tone from the podium, from the plane, and the rally stage. Stephen Miller is unleashed and ready. The communications teams exposing every lie, and CNN's biggest headlines now come from their own mistakes. The fake news empire is falling, and the White House is just tightening the noose. And here's why it matters. For years, CNN set the narrative for American politics. They told you what to think and who to trust and what stories mattered. Anyone who pushed back was labeled a conspiracy theorist or a threat to democracy. But tonight, the tables have turned completely. President Trump says CNN should be sold because their leadership's either corrupt or incompetent. Stephen Miller offered to appear on any show they wanted, and CNN declined because Stephen Chung says they know he'd run circles around their hosts. Jake Tapper got caught making racial assumptions about the January 6th pipe bomb suspect without any evidence, and when a CNN reporter tried to push a fake cabinet turmoil, still Trump clocked her in front of the entire press corps. The fake news empire is collapsing under the weight of its own lies. So should CNN be sold to the lowest bidder? Yes or no in the comments. And if you want to support our work, Real News, visit our merch shop. It's linked down below. And that's going to do it for tonight's Raw Feed, America. What a show. We covered a lot of ground tonight, and every single story points to the same undeniable truth. The walls are closing in on the protected class, and accountability is finally coming. We started with the Ilhan Omar fraud matrix. DHS now actively investigating her for immigration fraud. The allegation that she married her own brother is no longer a conspiracy theory. It's a federal case. Her net worth explosion from $65,000 to $30 million is drawing scrutiny from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. ICE is raiding Somali properties across Minnesota, and the woman who sneered at America, saying you're stuck with us, is learning that paperwork can be revoked. Then we cover the deep state boomerang. Ed Martin and the DOJ Weaponization Working Group have opened investigations into Adam Schiff, Letitia James. Colonel Timothy Schindler went on camera with Laura Logan and warned that the hunters are becoming the hunted. The architects of Lawfare are staring down the barrel of the very machine they built. Then we expose the Obamacare fraud machine. The GAO tested it with fake identities. 90% got approved. Speaker Mike Johnson revealed $94 million sent to dead people, tens of thousands of duplicate Social Security numbers. It's not health care. It's an active crime scene. Governor Pritzker declared war on federal law by signing the most radical sanctuary bill in Illinois history. Tom Homan laughed in his face and said, good luck with that. Federal enforcement is coming, whether Springfield likes it or not. And then President Trump going to war with CNN. Stephen Miller offering to appear in any show. CNN declining because they'd know he'd run circles around him. The fake news empire is crumbling in real time. And 27 years ago today, the House Judiciary Committee approved articles of impeachment against Bill Clinton. The establishment promised accountability and Clinton walked free. But tonight, we're watching something different. The fraud networks are collapsing. The investigations are active. And the political class that thought they were untouchable is running out of places to hide. The template's finally being shredded. So before I go, one more time, happy birthday to Tom McCullough. Tom is one of our valued contributors, our White House correspondent who fills in for me. And, of course, we love having him as part of the Next News family. So enjoy your special day, brother. And if you've enjoyed tonight's show, tell a friend about the Raw Feed. Share it on social media. Hit up our merch shop. Support our mission for independent journalism. To everybody who sent in Super Chats and Rumble Rants, thank you. Your support keeps us going, and we read every single one. So thank you for joining us on the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and we'll see you all on the next show.